Well, what I think is pure, maybe somebody has a different idea. Let's talk about that. No, Kitty, to tell me to stop. Not the Lord. Yeah. Good morning, beautiful people. We had a great day yesterday, the first day of the week on Sunday with everybody. It was really good. Although I crashed and burned for the rest of the day. Some of the stuff I do. Anyway, good morning. It's Monday. Can you believe it? Already Monday. The work week begins. So, when I do something, in my head, I think, this is good. Or in my head, I'm like, maybe this is a bad thing to do. And so I debate myself or argue with myself. I'm kind of like, when you have that cartoon with the angel and the devil, keep arguing with yourself. So that tension, that struggle is always there. And so we're looking in the book of Proverbs. Proverbs, pro means good, verbs means action. So good actions is the whole book of good actions, good wisdom on how to live. And so wisdom is when you have the knowledge, but you're doing it for the right reason at the right time for the right purpose. And so when we have wisdom, we're going to do things, hopefully with God and with His wisdom. Oh, Snapple, not a sponsor. And so when we do those things, when we do those positive things, sometimes people will use those positive things to get their way, or have those positive things just for a small amount of time so they can fake people out to get ahead. And that's not a good motive to do those good things. They think it's pure because they're doing it for a job, or they're doing it to get popular, or things like that. Now, I'm not saying God can't use any of that. But when we look at Proverbs, it really deals with the heart issue about your actions. Where is your heart when you do these things? Is your heart that you put yourself in the center and that you are God and that you, do what you want to do as a prideful person? Or are you putting God in the middle of things and using His wisdom and His direction? That's probably the only two options. You either think you're a God and you can do whatever you want, or you think God is God and He is ultimately the judge of and right and wrong of everything. So there's only two ways a human can go. And so in Proverbs chapter 16, verse 2, it says this: all a person's ways seem pure to them. Yeah, pretty much. Humans think, oh, I'm doing this for the good reason. And maybe sometimes it winds up bad, or sometimes it winds up, biting us in the tush. And we think it's pure. See, a lot of these proverbs will have this, but this, or this, or this. Okay, so all a person's ways seem pure to them, but motives. See, that's where it gets to the heart issue. That's where it gets to the motive of why you're doing this. But motives are weighed by the Lord. So your motives on why you're doing that are judged by the Lord. Because nobody else knows your motives, unless you say it out loud. Even that time you can lie about them. Nobody really knows your motives except for God, because He can read your mind, your heart, and why you're doing these things. And so hopefully, when you are acting out the wisdom of God in Proverbs, you have pure motives. And so I challenge you, when you're at work, when you're around family, when you're around your enemy, when you're around, your brothers and sisters in Christ, when you're around people that you don't know in a restaurant, or a waitress, or a waiter, or you're at a play and people are watching you, that your motives are pure. Because God will judge what's in the heart before people judge one what's on the outside. And so our heart has to be in the right place to do the wisdom, or do the actions that we see in Proverbs. And so I would encourage you to read Proverbs. And I would encourage you to have pure motives as you have pure actions. I love you. Jesus loves you too. You have a great... Monday. Yep. Love you. Bye.